Hi, welcome to One More Today. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our streak in October, starting in October, continuing in November, that we're going to do 3 character Chinese expressions a day. And they're more contemporary and they are more fun in a way. Okay, so today we're going to talk about 满意度. 满意 means satisfaction, 度 means degree, like how much you're satisfied. So visualize Amazon's 1 to 5 star rating. So that's what 满意度visualized like that. Okay, 满 means overspill. So it's about river or water. This is a water sign, and the right side means equally filled to the top, probably. Okay, so let's go one by one. So water sign, it has this mainstream in the middle. It's kind of a sine wave slowly, right? And then there are 4 strokes next to it. It's broken on the side. So Chinese have chuan, which is 3 kind of S sign uninterrupted. So that's like a water flowing in massive water channels body uninterrupted. So it's like a wide river versus this is waterway, but it's probably narrower and it's not as deep. And so there are interruptions on the side. The mainstream, the middle part is continuous, but on the side it's interrupted. So I think that's a very realistic depiction of water in nature. Okay, on the right side, we have this this kind of a bow thing with horizontal line. That's Chinese character for 20. So Chinese 10 is actually a cross sign. There's nothing to do with classification. This 10 simply is based on Chinese, the original record-keeping technology, roping, which is tie a knot on the rope, which is kind of permanent record once the number reached to 10. So I guess below 10, we can still use fingers, 1, 2, 5, make it clear. Once it reached to 10, we have to like back starting from 1, right? So once it reached 10, it's going to be transferred to this rope. And I guess if you unrope it, you will see the sign of the rope, the knot left over there. So it's kind of a permanent record. So that's 1 cross. 2 cross next to each other, that's 20, as easy as that. And eventually, to make it more unified look, somebody connect the bottom of here to make it into 20. So this is Chinese 20. Underneath is a big arch with 1 divider in the middle. And there are 2 symmetrical, same looking thing on each side, and it looks like a person symbol. But it basically means something have an exact copy of itself, but it comes in 2 compartments. So 2 entities, but they're exact copy of each other. And we can, there is a Chinese character called liang, which is similar looking to this, but it doesn't have this 20 sign over there. It's just 1 horizontal line. So for liang, it means 1 horizontal sign means number 1 in Chinese. So 1 equally distributed among 2. And that's like 2 copies of something, right? So that symbol means 2, like exact 2. But now we have this 20 sign on it, and man on the contemporary looking like that. That kind of a max out from 1 to 20. So 20 in Chinese numerical system, kind of a big number back then, I guess. Or I suspect in the record keeping, when it reached to 20, it kind of symbolized it goes to the full amount. Kind of like today, when in probability theory, everything cut into 100, right? And then we always say percent, and percent means out of 100. So we use 100 as the base. And probably in China back then, 20 was used as the basis. So if something like some number out of 20, so when it reached 20, it's kind of going back, start the counting again. Probably that's why. So 20 means you max out and then evenly distributed among the 2. And it itself means fill up to the top. So I guess this fill up thing came from this 20, this sense of you max out the unit in ancient times when we're measuring how full it is, right? Like 20 out of 20, that kind of the full, and then evenly distributed. So when it paired with water, that means overspill. Means water, I guess for water to fill up, it gotta be kind of a water tank, or I guess it's more like in nature. So it's a kind of waterway, but a smaller scale waterway. And once it fill up to the bank, right? And then it's going to have a flooding. That means water is not contained. It's going its own ways out of control. And that water filled to the top, that means overspill. I mean, it's very difficult to maintain to the very brim moment, right? Because from the brimming to overspilling, it's like a split second thing. So once you feel max out 2020, very likely it's going to be overspill. So that's overspill. Okay, E is intent. We have an episode, I believe sometime in summer. It's either June or July, I couldn't remember. Episode that specifically talk about one single character a day. And this is one of them because I think it's such beautiful conceptualized formation of Chinese define what is intent. Intent, in short, is the music, which is the top portion here, of the heart. The music of the heart is intent. How beautiful, oh my God. Okay, so the heart simply is a chamber with tubes coming in, tubes going out, and the third tube to supply the heart itself. So heart is a pump. It has this function incoming, outgoing, right? So that's the basic structure of the heart. And then the top is music. Music comes composed of this mouth symbol with horizontal line, that means sweet. And then the top is the two convex shape together with the vertical line. That is the entering sign. And then with this convex shape with vertical line means entering. And the second convex shape over here, that means it's the indicator to mean it's the inside of whatever you're trying to enter. So we have the mouth symbol underneath, and we have the entering or the inside sign on top of it. That means inside the mouth, which is the tongue. And because the tongue is kind of a constant moving, right? It's really hard to depict how a tongue looks like. So Chinese use this location feature of the tongue instead of the shape itself to say it's inside the mouth. Okay, and then the top two horizontal lines are the sound bites going further away, diminishing sound. So the whole thing means speaking. And now if you have this one horizontal line, that means speaking sweetly. Speaking sweetly means singing, and singing eventually extended, not just vocal music, but instrumental as well. So it's just music in general. Music and heart, music of the heart. That is intent. Okay, overspill intent means you have your heart's music fulfilled to the maxed out, to have a to 20 out of 20 kind of a feel. So it's a 满意 means max out your intent. You meet exact expectations there. Okay, 2, we have this I guess this top ground cover. It means high ground, but with a chimney on top. That means kind of a semi-shelter thing. Because if we have a full dome kind of looking like this, if it is a full dome with a chimney kind of looking like this with a chimney in the middle, that means domestic space. It's fully closure, full closure. You need to enter it through a door. But over here is like half open with a chimney on top. And that, my guessing, is kitchen, because kitchen you want to have the, whatever you're cooking, you want to have the, before the invention of the air ventilation, the contemporary solution, the ancient way is to keep half of the room open to the outside, so the fumes of the kitchen will go out. So that's kitchen. And then here you see, well, 20 again. This is 20, and here's 20 again. Okay, over here I have, according to scholars, this is actually not the number 20. It is a cookware. So, I mean, it kind of looks like a pot, right? With a pot with a big lid on top of it. It could be like that. And originally, because the setting of this character occurred in a kitchen environment with a cookware, so it's easy to infer that means the practice of cooking. And in ancient times, I guess it's like tribal living or household living. You have and ancient times have bigger households than contemporary, right? So it's whoever does the kitchen work, most likely women, are going to have this calculation of how many food they cook. And also they have to time the cooking, because I would imagine the fire control back then was not as easy as you just turn the knobs up and down to adjust the gas top fire, right? Ancient times, you have to fan the fire up, and I don't know, the whole set of fire control, temperature control will be so much more complicated. So the planning of the cook would be essential, not to get, like, first off, get enough food for everybody, and there's no leftover either, because there's no refrigerator. You cannot afford to waste food like that. You have to meet, you have to feed the exact amount of your household. And two, you have to have a perfect fire control, so your food won't get wasted by get burned, right? So that's super intensive. I mean, high demanding on the cook's part. And so when we have this 3-finger hand symbol from the bottom right of the corner, that sign shows this requires a certain degree of control, like a quantification of things, because Chinese like to use that hand symbol. Originally, I mean, there was a sign over here to indicate 1 inch down. That means kind of a measurement. You need to measure, take measure of things, kind of a methodologically doing things, right? So in terms of cooking and your right hand in that means you have a very well control over the quantity or the timing. So the quantity of the ingredients, the timing of the heat, the temperature of the heat, all that go into this well-controlled, it's a super artificial, well-controlled environment to make the right amount of food into the right cook to like well cooked for everybody. So this then eventually becomes the degree. So from cooking practice, it can apply now to everything. That means you're kind of in control. You know what you're doing, and you kind of quantify it, do it measurably to reach the right amount. Okay, so 满意度 together, it means satisfaction degree. I mean, basically it's a 5-star kind of a ranking, like that's the visualized way by Amazon and adopted by multiple rating practice across the internet. But 满意度 in Chinese translated as this satisfaction degree, like you have to quantify how satisfied you are. All right, so I guess this is just to show, okay, satisfaction. I assume that person sitting by the ocean is 2020 satisfaction of life at that point. Okay, all right, catching to the currency of thinking about one more today with Sophie.